break. Look at you going pee-pee. Ugh, gotta get my gloves on. I'm really sorry. Good morning. And as true to reality TV as possible, I can't seem to get my... Oh, there we go. Good morning. Oh, look, I got ready for you guys. Good morning. It's early, and it's warm, but it's yucky. As you can hear, there's no crunching. I've decided that I'm going to try my best to get more ready because, you know, I've gotten a little lackadaisical in terms of getting up and getting myself all dressed up. So welcome back to this boutique thinking of mine. And the reason why I think it's boutique thinking, I'm not saying that I have some sort of unique stance, but it seems very often, hi, look how excited he is. So excited. Oh, he gets so excited. This is my favorite. I think that I've been able to, I don't have my stick, sorry. I've been able to focus on my dog for my health. I've been able to watch his excitement and joy. And also there's the very functional thing of him pooping. Let's see. Can I get it? Yeah! Outside of my immediate home. I mean, when you let a dog out, or this has been my experience, on just to go to the bathroom, he generally, in this environment, generally, he goes right around my house. So then when I'm going to take out the garbage, as many of you have maybe seen outside of my house, I just throw it outside and then I let my son or my husband bring it to the next station. He poops there or he pees there, and it's so frustrating. And I can't blame him. He doesn't want to stay outside by himself. He doesn't like that. So to be a better owner, to be a better friend, I have been going for a walk with him so that he goes and does it in the forest, basically, because this is the forest. This is still an extension of my property, but not this part anyways, but that can be poop. Odin, come, let's go. Sorry, he was going into my neighbor's house, and he's not allowed to go to my neighbor's house because, you know, actually, it's just actually very good. It's a very good setup. Odin, come, let's go. Oi. Now he's, come. He's not allowed to go on my neighbor's property because he jumped on his car. So now he's forbidden. He's forbidden to go on my neighbor's property. Strange? Yeah, I think so. People have become extraordinarily materialistic. I have had dogs jump on my car. And yeah, and that's the end of it. But no, people that are materialistically based can't fathom having one of their items slightly injured, because that's what it feels like. It feels like my dog injured their car. The dog doesn't have any, understanding of the fact that human beings can put a piece of metal ahead of their love, because that's what he was doing. He just wanted to address him, and maybe he wasn't very well behaved, perhaps. Maybe that's what people will think, and maybe that's true. But also, my son is autistic, and he's the one that brought him over there, and he doesn't do a very good job of maintaining this dog. My dog is pretty big. But anyway, that's a nice segue, as usual, which is so funny how that happens. And this morning, as I was doing my morning pages, which I'm still doing, by the way, now that I'm adding my walks again, I fell off the walking ritual because, well, we were very busy. As my videos are obviously displaying, we've been very busy with life. Of course, I have no stick. That's okay. I'm making it work. It's practice over perfection. And as I was writing my morning pages, I was contemplating my importance, my ego. My ego has been bruised, if not utterly kicked to the ground, depending on how, I guess, look at it. I always believed that the friendships that I had cultivated and had over the years, developed and maintained, I thought I was a good enough friend, and I thought that I had put enough work into my friendships, the ones that I've held, because once my cousin got sick with cancer, I quickly realized the friends that shouldn't be called friends, but rather acquaintances. There he goes again. And I realized that I was going through a very difficult time. And although some of my friends, of course, were, did the right thing, and they did, they called and, they chatted with me. But once I started to not have time to do all the maintenance that I had been doing, because from where I stood, at least, oh, what do you see? What do you see? What do you see? What's there, Odie? There's always something there when we come, and he can't go there because it's so deep. But he's always trying. There's something there in the forest. We can't see it, but he's always stuck here. And we carry on because, unfortunately, I don't have time. I need to move. And what I started observing was that when I wasn't doing as much maintenance, neither were they. What I mean is they just kind of dropped the ball. They didn't say, oh, she's busy, I'll give her a call. I'll do more of the work, as it were, to call, to touch base, to see how I am. There was a huge drop in the friends communication. Let's just put it that way, I guess. I didn't really ponder on that because I was too busy. My cousin was sick. She was stage 4 cancer when we found out. So for me, paramount was my cousin. And I didn't have time to review, contemplate. What was that anyway? I was running on fuel I didn't have and on hours that didn't exist. So anyone that has had a loved one dying of this thing that is, I believe, from my observation, manufactured, because if it's not, then why is there more of it when we're more poisoned? I mean, I don't know. I'm not very good in math, so I might get that all wrong. But who's listening to me anyway? As time progressed, we ran into coronavirus. And that put an interesting strain on my friendships. I had a very different opinion about what coronavirus was. And to give you a hint, for all of you who don't want to be my friends, so you can have a good excuse, it was an operation more so than a sickness. And if you have a different opinion, that's good for you. And you may have whatever opinion you want. So that complexity forced my friends to be faced with an opinion of mine that was, well, at the very least unpopular because it was not featured in CNN or CNBC or ABC or whatever other letter institution that's owned by a couple of people. Now, I don't know. My opinion, I was not going to stand down for my opinion. I don't rub it or shove it into anybody's face. But if somebody says something that I think is obscenely ridiculous, I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, sure, I agree with that. Because that's fake. How can you be my friend and not know my opinion and not be able to stand my opinion? So I ran into another new friendship hurdle that I hadn't really, in the good times, let's say, have really entered. Like, I've never had this experience where someone could not handle my opinion unless I agreed with them, which was insane. It was just insane. So I lost a couple of friends like that because I'm sorry, if I can handle what appears to me an absolutely ridiculous stance, which is more or less a Hollywood stance, if I can hold that that's what you think, then I didn't understand why someone could not tolerate, you don't go there, good boy, we're at the end, we gotta go back. I was absolutely shocked that some of my friends could not tolerate my position. Irrespective of what it wasn't hurting them. It was my opinion. It was what my observation was. And granted, most of my friends are people that have grown up in Canada, have never seen hardship, maybe talks of how they were in World War II, which to me, I apologize in advance if this triggers somebody, is ridiculous. Yeah, Canada had some hard times. They never saw war. Let's make that clear. I know this is going to be unpopular to a lot of people, but you know what? I basically lost most of my friends, so I really don't care. If you don't like my opinion, you could just move on. Or you could listen, shake your head, and move on too. Because I'm not all bad. I come from a country where it was flattened. That's war, okay? Not that you have victory gardens, okay? And you send a few planes over to a war. So let's just take that off the table right away. Let's make it clear as to what my stance is. I come from a country, like many countries around the world, that actually saw a war. My grandmother saw the war. My grandmother, all my life, told me about the war. And it didn't consist of not being able to buy extra goods and having to have a garden, because that was hard for Canadians, but they weren't in a war, not a proper war. So I guess I'm a little bit tougher. I come from a place where the history is still remembered. So that was another section of my life where I was like, wait a minute, I'm not liked because I have a different opinion. My cousin was still alive, and so I was able to handle that. I was able to say goodbye to those people that I thought were my friends, that through action showed me they were not my friends. And that was very difficult, actually, for me. I'm a very people-oriented person, and I had to digest that I'm unliked, or somehow I'm not accepted because of the thoughts or the thought process of my perspective. So there wasn't at any time, well, why do you think that way? It was, your opinion is not acceptable and therefore you are not liked. That was, I think, for me, the first real, I guess, reality check of friends. The other thing is that a lot of these friends were friends that I met later in life. So in my 30s, I was already established, they were already established, and we were meeting because we had other friends, and that's how we became friends. So there wasn't really deep roots there. That's another thing. So fast forward now 6 years, say, I have only a few friends. Well, I think I have a few friends. Let me be clear with my words. See, because people misuse a lot of words in this day and age. Everything's been devalued, even language, even words. Love doesn't mean love anymore. Love is just a word that someone uses to manipulate your feelings. Because if they truly loved you, they would love you through it all. We all have ugly parts. We all have parts that rub another person the wrong way. But love is something that perseveres, forgives, endures. That's love. Love is not fickle. Love is not fickle. But we've made it fickle. It's like an app or a swipe. And there's no loyalty anymore. And loyalty is a big portion of love. And so back to this morning when I was contemplating my friends. As I was reviewing and trying to stand back and observe what's happening, I realized as I started writing that I don't have any friends. I don't have any real friends. I don't have any friends that I feel I can count on if I was in real need. I have my family. I have my husband's family. I have my aunts, my husband's aunts, really. But when it comes to friends, the moment I left down south, this is where my ego comes into play. I became invisible. And in my opinion, out of sight, out of mind, if that happens in a friendship, what kind of friendship was it? I have recently tried to make a schedule so that we can create sort of a more or less a little bit of a schedule so that we have time to water each other. Like a plant. When you have a plant, and it's a beautiful plant, and it's a plant that's growing and thriving, chances are the owner absolutely loves it. The owner takes care of it. The owner gives it time, gives it water, speaks to it, puts it in a really good place. And if the plant is struggling, the owner sees that and does what it needs to do, or he or she needs to do, in order to help the plant thrive again, if the plant is loved. I think very much in the same line with friendships. If you do not have time in a week for a friend, let alone in 2 weeks, forget about it in a month. If you don't even have an hour to give a friend, to find out what's going on in that person's life, to also share what's going on in your life, please tell me where the friendship lies. Where does it lie? With a text message and a thumbs up? With an emoji? Have we really devalued our ability to have a human connection that we so don't need it? And also, we call people friends that are absolute strangers. You don't even know what's going on in their life. Like, for example, none of my friends that are my close friends know that I've been having health issues lately. None of them know, because none of them care. They may say they care because we're so accustomed to now giving lip service that you actually believe that the person feels the lie that's coming out of your mouth. Because even though you don't think it's a lie that you say, oh, I'm so busy, it's still a lie. Because if you were to take an inventory of your life, I guarantee you'd be able to see, come on, that you've wasted your life, your day, you've prioritized around things that are not going to come to your funeral. But the people that would come to your funeral, you don't have time for because you're too busy. I don't have, we're not going there, this guy. I don't have any other explanation except that I am, oh, look at this is so cute. Look at, oh, I don't know if you could see, it's too dark. These are all little birds going off the cliff. They're little, they're like wild chickens. I don't have any more excuses for people except either I'm not valued enough, I'm not important enough to be prioritized in my friend's life, even in a month. There are friends that I used to talk to regularly, that I used to see regularly. And now I realize it was me doing the work. It was me mostly calling, because the moment I stopped, it mostly stopped. I'm not saying it all stopped, but it mostly stopped. And so I realized I'm not actually an important person in their life because there's no prioritizing me in it for them, like I try to prioritize them. And what's frustrating is there's been people in my life that have told me this, but I was smarter. I knew better. And now, after being here, well, a little over a year, proof is in the pudding. I only have a couple of friends, and I'm not sure if they are also my friends, because I mean, if I stop calling them, will they stop calling me? Probably. And there are a few friends that I'm still scared to do that. Oh, I want to show you this. This is a fox that we have, and he walks here. He must walk here every morning, because yesterday the fresh tracks were here, and now today there's fresh tracks. So these are Odie's, and these are the foxes. So it's so funny. Anyway, that was my thinking. I was thinking that I finally woke up and realized that what had been said to me many years ago by an older person in my life is very true. Friends are people that prioritize you, not people that call you their friend. Just because they put a category on you, that doesn't mean that you actually fit into that category. Talk is cheap. And I guess I have to learn to accept that. And that was kind of it's weird, because on the one hand, as I was writing, I realized there was a deep sadness in understanding that they think they care, but they show me they don't. They say they care, but they show me they don't. And I have to make a decision whether or not I believe what is being said or what is being shown. And today, I feel that we are in a time where if you are not looking at the actions, oh, that's why he was here. There's a bunny. Those are bunny. Sorry, I'm being totally distracted. Lately, I haven't been doing videos, and I've been walking quietly, so it's very, funny. I get distracted, but usually I'm not talking anymore, so I usually just enjoy it quietly. So enjoy with me. We are in a time right now that entering a time that if you're not watching people's actions, you're going to get yourself into trouble. If you believe the forked tongue, because people are very smart. Very smart. They know how to use words to put a spell on you. And I still love my friends, but I will give them the space they need to figure out whether or not I'm their friend. I don't want to remind them that I'm here constantly. It's demoralizing, to be honest. It's demoralizing. I feel little. I feel insignificant. And for my friends to make me feel that way, I don't think I want to continue begging, pleading, and constantly trying to reinsert myself in their life when they don't have time for me. And back to the world stage, look what's happening. Look what's happening. The American president is pretending that he's a peace guy. And he's pretending that America gets to go wherever they want to go because they're powerful. If you really pay attention and stop listening, you're going to see a different reality. You're going to see that he's scared because he's actually losing power. People in power don't need to be bullies. Power doesn't require you to be an asshole. Real power, people bow down to and respect. He doesn't have real power. What he has is a bunch of goons, and he's utilizing those goons because he is afraid. He is small. And that is important to see the distinction in this day and age, because we are entering a time where I believe, from my observation, from where we came from, we ran away from this very problem, and now it's worldwide. It's worldwide. There's no way of escaping it. And Canadians will learn, hopefully not, what it means to be in a war. It may not be a war that World War II saw, but as my grandmother said, it's going to be worse. With each war, the atrocities are always worse because technology is better. And we are entering a time where you should really know who really loves you, truly loves you. Not people that speak nicely or that agree with you, but people that will be there when you need them. People that are there for you, that know about your life, that care. I genuinely want to know about what's going on in my friend's life. I want to know the struggles. I want to know what kind of things they are excited about, what they're accomplishing. It inspires me. It makes me happy. It gives me more fuel to try to be better myself. But I don't know if everybody feels that way. Maybe they say they do. But in the last year, since I've moved here, I've learned that words are really, truly cheap. And that's not just a saying. It's not a cliche. It's true. Words are cheap. And actions are very expensive. And it's funny because most people have friendships with dollar store tags. So that's why I actually think this is kind of a boutique way of thinking, because most people want a quantity of friends that they don't really know. They want to appear popular. They want to feed their ego. Like my ego. I wanted to feed my ego. I wanted to be more important in my friends' lives. But I'm not. And I bet you're not either. If you really take stock of your life. And maybe you do have really good friends. And if you do, hang on to them. Make sure you give them your time. Make sure you prioritize them in your life. Because if you don't, you're sending a message that they're not important, that you don't care. And if that's the message you want to send, then that's good. That's perfectly fine. But I truly believe that the friends that I have that have been able to be in my life this whole time, I feel blessed. And it's funny because the friends that are left behind, the ones that have actually given me their time, told me what I mean to them, have over and over been there, no matter how I behave or, I mean, you don't want to be an asshole. I don't think I'm an asshole. You know, you don't want to have to constantly be loving an asshole. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is, through thick and thin, they've been there. And now, when I've realized the friends that tell me all these lovely things but show me none of it, I'm left with surprising friends. I'm left with the people that I didn't think had my back the way that they do. But there's a saying that my grandmother used to say, God rest her soul. She used to say, oh my God, I just had a brain fart. My grandmother used to say that the only time that you find out who your true friends are is in time of desperate times. And I've realized that because Canada, and my generation specifically, has never really seen hard times, arguably they think they have because they haven't seen hard times. But during the hard times, which we are already in, we have already started the hard times. I am already seeing in not even such hard times that I can't count on a lot of my friends for moral support, because they're just so important, because they just have so much to do, because they just don't have time. It's clear. So I guess that sounds like sour grapes, doesn't it? But it's not. It's really, truly me telling you that you should do your inventory, and in your life you should really pay attention who you can trust and who you can count on, because we are entering a time, 2026, that you don't want to depend on the wrong friend. In the past, at least from my history, people lost their lives. That's an extreme version of having the wrong friend. And I understand that that sounds very negative. It's not negative, it's a fact. It's a fact, and if you would speak to my grandmother, if you would speak to my husband's dad's favorite saying was, your friends are your teeth until they start hurting you. And that is a lesson that we have repeated in our life for our entire marriage, because it's true. Wisdom isn't always easy to swallow, but when it is true, inevitably you're going to have to either succumb to the truth or completely live in ignorance, which is what most of us are living in. And I think that's what I was living in. I was living in ignorance. I was literally living in belief that when my friends say nice things to me and they tell me how much they like me and they're excited, blah, blah, blah. But as soon as a little bit more effort needs to happen, all of a sudden there's crickets. And I'm not shading on my friends, the ones that I call my friends. I'm not shading on them. So if you're listening, if you get offended, then I apologize, but facts are facts. And I love my friends, but I no longer depend on their time, because I've always wanted to spend more time, whether on the phone or in person. But unfortunately, hi girls, it's warmer today. They're so upset because look, we didn't do a good job this year. We only covered part of it, and this actually proved to be even worse than covering any of it. So, yeah, they are, hi girls, beep, beep, beep. Anyway, that's it. I gotta feed my girls. Gotta take care of them. They're waiting, poor girls. Just think about it. Listen, I'm not a fearmonger. I'm not trying to make you guys feel like hard times are coming and they're not. I'm truly, as a friend, as someone that has had many, many talks with my grandma, and she, the things that she told me are starting to be eerily repeated. And as far as I'm concerned, there's a reason why she was begging. She was begging. She said to me, I really want to die. And I said, Grandma, why are you saying that? She said, because the war is coming. And I don't want to see another war. Humanity turns into wolves. And when you can't count on being watered, don't count on being helped. That's all I'm saying. And if you do have good friends, please hold them close. Make sure that they know that you care for them. Make sure that you're taking the time in your life to make them feel special. And I don't mean by buying them or talking about how wonderful they are. Call them, see how they are. Say hello, just tell them you were thinking of them. That's enough. But that's my story. What's yours? Do you agree with any of this? Am I just a loser? Am I just such a loser, an unfriendly person? Am I just not likable? Is that what it is? It could be, that could be. Or do you find that it's harder and harder to find friends where you can feel secure? There's a sense of security that I feel I don't have with my friends. A sense of that I can't tell them, look, I need more time with you. I need to know how you are. I need to talk to you. It's not important to them. Maybe that's just not important to them. Maybe that's what it is. But I have told them the importance of my need, and nothing has changed. So when people, self-help books or books tell you, oh, just tell people how you feel, doesn't work. Not if they don't care enough about you. Not if they don't care enough about you. So I am off. Ugh. My dog is eating chicken. Okay, look, this is ridiculous. Odie, what are you doing? You're eating chicken food. What are you doing? Oh, I have a chicken dog. Come on, Odie. I have a chicken dog. Anyways, you guys have a great day, week. Odin. And I will see you next time when I have something else to complain about. I hope 2026 is nothing like what I think it's going to be. But if Venezuela is a sign, it's not a good one. Anyways, take care of yourself. Until next time. Oh, and like and subscribe, won't you? Ciao.